A couple of weeks ago, I sat down with the lead project manager of the forthcoming Vectrex Mini, David Oghia, and during that interview, we said this.
I want to be able, and I want to prove to myself, but I want to be able to show people who are interested in this what they are getting into if they get into this Kickstarter. So could I interest you in shipping a prototype to me in a few weeks in advance of your Kickstarter that I could put side by side and show people what we're getting into?
Of course, John, that's really something I want to do. So I will send you a prototype.
And true to his word, just arrived on my doorstep this morning. Here he is, the prototype unit of the Vectrex Mini. And we are going to jump into this, put it through its paces, and see what the Vectrex Mini has to offer right after this.
This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. Ever since I saw the announcement of the Vectrex Mini coming, I have been very excited. And I know that there's been a lot of very divisive comments in some of the videos we've had covering. There's plenty of people that say, I know it's limited because it's not a vector screen, but I'm on board. Some people saying there's no way it's a Vectrex experience without having that original vector CRT. And I can't say one or the other is right. Really, for me, it's going to come down to what's the experience like? What is it actually like to sit down and play? How close is it to the original Vectrex experience? We know it's not the original, it's a mini. And the only way to really tell that is to put your hands on it. So generously, David shipped me, I have it here. Yeah, I have a little Vectrex Mini here. I have not even opened it yet. We're going to open it together in real time live at the table. But I wanted to play it and so that we can get a first kind of impression of what it is like. Now, I just want to recap and remind you that this is a prototype. In fact, David was very nervous. He said, I'm not happy with it. It's not perfect. It's not. First of all, it has a box. I didn't even think a prototype was going to have a box. So a prototype box is here. So that tells you what kind of detail he tends to go to. But this is not a review. I'm not looking for defects and bugs and problems. I'm really just trying to get a feel for what the Vectrex Mini is going to be like. The Kickstarter, again, doesn't launch until next month. There is a link to it down in the description right now. You can go check out, of course. And the product probably won't ship until kind of Q3 of next year. So we have some time. This is where we are now, so let's take a look at the new Vectrex Mini prototype at least and see, kind of get a taste for what's coming our way when this ships later. I didn't expect to spend any time looking at the box, but the fact that this prototype, nearly a year out from shipping, already has a prototype box, which I'm sure is going to change. Everything about this could change, but it's already laid out and it's very reminiscent. If you look at an original Vectrex box, it looks a lot like it, the layout and the different, just the call outs here on the side of the box, but updated to reflect what's different about this mini system. Let's get inside. And we're inside. Here she is, the Vectrex Mini prototype. Now this is all handmade. This is for mass production. This is 3D printed materials and handmade stuff, even the overlays. And so quickly, dimensions, about 8 inches tall by, what is that, about 5.25 wide, which is, I don't know, for our metric friends, that's like 22 centimeters tall or something. I forget, is that right? 21, yeah, you see. The proportions are all here, and here's the controller and little door down there. You go, flips down, pulls out, but wireless now, so not tethered to a wire. Even this, all 3D printed and handmade still. Let's take a look around the hardware. Peeking down here behind the controller door, you can see there's a forward-firing speaker behind this grill. There's a volume dial here. There's a 9-pin plug, which I assume means to plug in legacy controllers. That would be cool. There's a USB-A port, and then this button doesn't do anything yet. It's just a dummy. Maybe it's going to be a power switch or something, most likely. Around here on the right-hand side, here is the entry point for the SD card slot, because you'll be able to add your own Vectrex games to a card, throw them in there. In addition to the 12 that come preloaded on the game, you can, of course, add your own. And as you work your way around the back of the device, you can see that they've done everything to mimic
the look and the contours of the original Vectrex. So, of course, there's not a big CRT in here with a big neck back here that would need to go into all of this, but they've duplicated all of that and included, looks like a button here, probably going to be a reset button or something. There's a little entry point for that, a little model number on the back, and really, and the handle, how you would pick it up on the old Vectrex, the handle is there. It's just half the size for half the size of a Vectrex. Here are some of the overlays that David included. Here's a Web Wars and Spinball. Now these are all handmade, and you can see there are little imperfections around them because we haven't been through mass marketing yet, but you can see what's going to be included: Polar Rescue, Spike, Clean Sweep, Blitz, Bedlam. Oh, and there's Mindstorm, the one everybody knows. Now again, I never owned a Vectrex when I was a kid, so I can't speak to the original experience other than what I've played at other people's houses, you know, who had it, but the inclusion of these overlays was a big part of what made the Vectrex. Of course, the screen is the number one thing, but having these to bring life and color to that monochrome vector screen, it just kind of, it increased the immersion of the games, and including them, I think, was a really smart move. Now I want to take a look at the controller. Again, all of this is straight out of the lab. It's 3D printed still, not mass marketed. So here's the controller, and you can see in my hands, now many people have commented that, hey, the original Vectrex controller was meant to sit on the table and have these 4 buttons spaced wide apart. But I can tell you, I mean, I haven't played the games yet, right? But I mean, I can reach all these buttons quite easily. I should also point out that this is compatible with lots of other controllers. I know that they had said like an 8-bit DOE controller that has like the ABXY organization of buttons would also be usable. And even this stick, this metal stick that's on here, I feel like that was handmade too. And right now it is a digital D-pad, but I seem to recall that it's going to be analog, just like, anyway, prototype. How many times can I say this is a prototype? This is not a review, obviously. So around the back, you can see it's going to be rechargeable via USB-C. Looks like this is probably a sync button. I haven't even powered this thing on yet, and I'm already excited about what the future may hold with this. My only regret is that I don't have a real original Vectrex against which to compare it, to kind of get an apples to apples kind of, oh wait, unless of course I were to use this one that just arrived the other day. So we have here an original 83 Vectrex. Let's put this thing side by side with the Mini and see how they compare. And here they are, side by side. Now there's no question, the original 83 Vectrex is an impressive, imposing beast. But look at this cute little guy. So I brought in the same overlay, the Mindstorm overlay, the controller side by side. Like basically the controller fits across the buttons of the original controller there. And I have to say, looking at the two side by side, it makes me better understand why people are like, I really want a full-size one, because the original, man, it's just such a cool-looking giant piece of tech. I've turned them both sideways here so you can appreciate what I was kind of talking about, how they've really copied the lines and everything of the original Vectrex, even though all this is probably wasted space, depending on how much space is needed for the internals. I think it would be not as cool if it was all squished and flat and tiny, right? You want to have that same kind of chonky look that you had of the original. Even though it's half the size, you want to keep that profile. So we spent enough time talking about how it looks. Let's talk about how it plays. So I only have Mindstorm, which is the built-in game for my original Vectrex. I'm going to take a look at a couple different games on the Mini, but for starters, let's refresh all of our memories, especially mine, and take a look at what Mindstorm looks like on the original Vectrex and what it is that people reminisce about and what it is that's special about the Vectrex and how it looks. If you happen to get information and or enjoyment out of the content that we create here on GenXGrownUp on our YouTube channel, our weekly podcast, on our website, can I ask that you consider supporting us over on Patreon? Over at patreon.com/GenXGrownUp, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month and become a supporting member of what we do here. Everything we do costs money, from the lights to the cameras to the microphones to subscriptions and all that sort of thing. And we're happy to do it. It's my dream to do this stuff, but it does take cash to do. And if you have the ability and you have the interest, please consider checking us out over at Patreon and maybe becoming a supporter of the kind of content that we create. So thanks for your consideration. Let's get back after it. Yeah, Vectrex. Blue showing through the overlay. Here's some Mindstorm. All right. Let's see if I remember how to play this. That analog stick feels good. Yeah, it's the super shine on the intersections. Those little bits. Oh, yeah. And the points of light. Wherever you have a bullet. Those explosions, of course. Oh, UFO. Yeah. Cleared a wave. All right. That's the Mindstorm. All right. What about on the Mini? All right. It's firing up. There's a Vectrex splash. Not as bright yet, right? And I don't even mean just the pinpoints of brightness, like overall shining through the overlay. The screen is just not as bright. So higher contrast probably is something they're working on. And it looks like there's not even those filters and stuff that they're expecting to put on here. And you can see it looks great. It just doesn't look as vectory as I know is possible and really what we've been talking about. There we go. I mean, the gameplay is the same. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's the original game, you know? Whoa! Teleport! Hyperspace! Whoa! UFO got me. See if I can clear a level over here just like I did on the other one. That'd be nice. Now you can see like your bullets, little pinpoint lights of your bullets, just aren't as visible. It's going to be a filter and contrast thing, but playability is already there. I think it's because, you know, Vectrex ROMs, they didn't have to work so hard to make tiny elements visible because they're going to be such high contrast, you know? So we're going to have to help it a little bit in software. All right, I finished a level. Now, I don't know whether or not Scramble's going to be included on the final game, but it's here on the prototype, and I want to give it a shot because I remember it fondly. Now, no overlay for this one, but I'll give it a shot. Let's see. Just one player. Here we go. Whoa! Yep. Bombs and missiles, of course. This was a fun version of Scramble. I remember hearing that it was on the Vectrex and wondering how good it would be. And then to play it, I mean, it has the same feel. And I thought we'd try one more with an overlay. And by the way, I plugged in my 8-bit DOE controller just to give it a try. And, you know, the fact that it's compatible with so many different kinds of controllers, that's a plus. All right, Spike. One player. Here we go. Oh, how cute. Yeah, you can see how the vector is just not quite bright enough to push through those transparencies yet. So I'm sure that's something that will be worked on in future iterations. How did I jump? There's the jump. There we go. Can I go up there now? Yeah. All right. Jump across here. Get this ladder back. Where's the ladder? Oh, I saw it. There it is. Up the ladder. Oh, except I fell down. Gotta wait for the... There we go. Yep. Oh, and I fell. Move this ladder here. You can tell I don't know how to play Spike, but that's not stopping me from trying it out. Wow. So I'm guessing I need to get to the top, yeah? Let's see, where's that ladder? There it is. Climb up here, I gotta wait for the platform. There it is. Oh, and there's, all right, just gotta work my way over here. Got it. That's a cute little game too. Now that we've gotten a close-up look at what we can expect from the Vectrex Mini when it does eventually ship next year, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Now that you have more information, is this right for you? Has this reinforced your opinion one way or the other? I definitely want to know. Let me know down in the comments. And I expect the Vectrex team is going to pay attention to these comments. So if you have other suggestions or inquiries, we'll throw those down there too. And maybe David or someone on his team can pop in and answer. Meanwhile, I'll throw links to other Vectrex Mini coverage I've done and will do over my shoulders here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video. I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.